Okay, this is a bit of a weird one, but it's all good. Hello YouTube, hello Facebook, hello the world overall. Sorry for the weird camera angle. It's just kind of off. Alright, let me see if I can actually balance and stuff. Alright, that's kind of better. Hey Maxie. Okay, so I just got done watching the Brett Kavanaugh hearing, and there we are. And it was strange because in the beginning you had Ford's testimony about what Kavanaugh did to her, and then she was credible, she was powerful, she fucking kicked ass, she answered all the questions. Ball, go get the ball. Ball, that way, ball that way. Anyways, and she was absolutely amazing. Maximilian, Maximus, Max, oh fuck. Anyways, so all that aside, you know, shut up. God damn. Oh, I see what you want. That's not a ball. See, this is why I can't really do vlogs with dogs, because as soon as the dogs get somewhere, I have to find a ball, which now I'm distracted. I've completely forgotten what the hell I was trying to say, which is fucking par for the course. Okay, let's try this. So, what I got from the whole entire thing, because I was live tweeting it in summary form over the whole entire deal, was that Kavanaugh had a crap ton to be worried about. I mean, he was lying throughout the whole entire freaking thing. And yeah, you know what, I'm not going to delve into like the facts and figures and whatnot, because you know what, who got time for that? And my attention span is really short when it comes to like the important details. I could go into a further analysis if I had written out a script for the whole entire thing, but the process, the hearing was like 8 freaking hours long, and I watched that from the start of the Ford testimony to the end of the Kavanaugh one, and I had to pay attention to each and every little chunk that was said and summarize it so that way I could keep up with the conversation. And that was just absolutely insane, because the conversation went something like this. Kavanaugh, do you believe that Ford's accusation or Ford's a political actor? Well, and then they would go, no, that's not the question. Can you answer the question directly? And so what Kavanaugh ended up doing the whole entire time was just filibustering every single fucking question, except for the few softballs that were lobbed to him by people that were going to vote him in. They spent a majority of the time looking at his calendar in '82, going over his high school years and his college years, and him just defending the utter shit out of like himself, like, oh yeah, we were kids back in '82. I like beer. I drank beer. We drank beer. Everyone drank beer back in '82. When the question was, did you ever drink to the point of getting blackout drunk? And they hammered this question in over and over and over and over and over again. And it was like, what the hell? And finally, I think it was Booker or something like that who was like, hey, Kavanaugh, did you ever drink till you couldn't remember what the hell was going on? And Kavanaugh's answer was like, oh, we had a great time. We hung out, we went to the baseball field and everything else. When the question was whether he himself could or could not remember what was going on, it was whether he had to ask other people, since it was stated by another classmate that he had gotten like blackout drunk, whether he had to go around and ask people what happened the night before. And you know what getting blackout drunk is? Well, it is a roller coaster of wondering, did everything I do the night before, was it a dream, or did it actually happen? And chances are it actually happened, but you need to ask people what the hell is going on in order for like all the pieces to click. So he was just avoiding the utter crap out of that whole entire thing. In regards to who I believe more, I believe Christine Ford's testimony, because that shit was just it couldn't have been faked. It wasn't. And I'm sure there are gonna be people out there who are like, oh, it was a political actor by the left said to stop and resist and everything. And Ford said it herself. She's like, you know what? I've been dealing with this for 36 years, and my goal is not to dissuade you guys from voting Kavanaugh in. It's to tell you the truth about what happened when Kavanaugh and I were kids at a gathering. And Kavanaugh himself said that because he was running for a Supreme Court justice or a Supreme Court judge, that his whole entire life was up for investigation. This includes the teenage years. And they were just hammering him with all kinds of questions. And he did not answer a single one, except for a few sparse moments where he was like, well, I did this, 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 and this. And then when someone was asking him hard questions, he kept on filibustering and answering not the question, but something else entirely. And it was comedic to watch it all unfold, because at one point Lindsey Graham himself was like, you goddamn all of you, what the hell is all this BS going on? We are a respectable institution, and you're ruining this man's life, and by trying to deny him what is rightfully his. And Hirono later on was like, you know what, you are not entitled to get this position. And Kavanaugh was like, but and Hirono was like, that I have nothing. The one that kind of was the weirdest of all, outside of Graham's outburst and Kavanaugh's opening statement, in which he basically said, y'all know what, I could have gotten this shit done 10 days ago, but because so-and-so said these allegations came out, and this was actually a question that came up in the hearing itself, because these accusations came out against me. It's destroyed my family. It's torn my family apart. Like, how? Is Kavanaugh's wife going to file for a divorce if these things turn out to be true? Is he going to go to jail? Is he going to lose the kids? Is he going to lose his house? In exactly what way has this whole entire thing destroyed your life? Because when it came to Ford, she was like, okay, you know what, this has affected me deeply, the most intense for the first 4 years, and then after that, I had a nightmarish 2 years going to university, and my grades suffered, my social life suffered, I had a difficult time forming friendships with male classmates and whatnot, and it was just heart-wrenching to watch, because there was so much support for her. Like, there were letters pouring in from like thousands of people. They were like, you know what, you've got this, we got your back. I'm with her. I believe Ford, because anyone who is accused of sexual harassment, whose whole entire lifetime is up for investigation, because, you know what, you need to have a perfectly clear mind and clear conscience in order to be an effective Supreme Court judge. That is the highest of the high levels of law in this land. It's not like, hold on, it's not like saying, okay, yeah, you get to be a Supreme Court judge, but we're only going to look at ages 21 through 45. So that way, you know what, anything you did ages 20 and under, you can get away with. That's not how it should work. And I'm sure that he's not going to get the votes needed to be a Supreme Court judge. That's my takeaway from it. Because it's just fucking insane. This whole entire thing is so goddamn insane. My Twitter timeline's been filled with nothing but Kavanaugh this and Kavanaugh that, and Trump this and Trump that, and on the occasional memes and whatnot. But when it comes down to it, yeah, you can focus on what's going on in the commentary community, but at the same time, when something like this is going down, I think there's something with a bit more weight to it than, oh, well, Shane Dawson said this about, Jake Paul. So what? Is it relevant to me? Is it relevant to my interest? Or is it going to be something captivating? Or is it just going to be another, half hour saying, oh my God, this kid is just like FouseyTube, blah, 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 blah. Don't get me wrong, Colossal's Crazy's video on FouseyTube Part 2 was fucking amazing. But in comparison to something that could potentially affect every single person in the United States for decades to come, based on this Supreme Court judge's, decisions, the whole entire commentary community just kind of, takes an entire back seat. There needs to be a point in time where the commentators, instead of bitching about each other and about what other people are doing that annoys them, because that's pretty much what it is, need to come together and decide what is truly important? Is it just weird, pointless gossip about one idiot that's eventually going to turn into a psychopath because he tastes a dead rat in his backyard? Or is it going to be the fact that a Supreme Court judge is accused of, sexually assaulting a woman at a gathering when they were both teenagers? Now, there's a lot of, fucking weird things going on. And I'm sure that in due time, things will get sorted out. I mean, that's pretty much what's going on. Maxie boy. Max, where you going, boy? Oh, Max. So, my takeaway from the whole entire thing is this. If the accusations against Kavanaugh are true, then you know what? He's going to get removed from the whole nominee pool, and someone else is going to take that seat. And he's going to be sent to jail because, shit, in the age of Me Too always wins. That's just how it is. It doesn't matter what, gathering is happening and what's being voted for. If there's a vote on a Supreme Court judge and this shit pops up, and of course they're going to take it fucking seriously. It was stated multiple times during the hearing that Kavanaugh, we interviewed every single person named in this report, in these accusations, and under penalty of perjury, an oath of truth, they said this. We have all this information. And the look on Kavanaugh's face was like, but none of what they said was true. Like, he was pretending that he was, Trump or something by saying that, if he denied it long enough, then, that nothing said could touch him. And I'm sorry, that's not the way the world works. You don't see a train hurtling towards you at 400 miles an hour and going, that train's not coming at me, it's not going to hit me. No, that shit's going to hit you, and it's going to hurt, and it's going to end a lot of things. The past 10 days, they've both been put through hell. They've both been put through and it would not surprise me in the least if this hearing and the attention it generates afterwards has more adverse effects on them. I mean, I was watching the coverage on CNN, which, it's important. And a strange thing was said between the hearing segments. One of the commentators, I forget his name, he said, when it comes to men versus women, when it comes to this kind of thing, women always lose. And then one of the female commentators was like, no, not all the time. Things are changing. And that's true. things are changing. It's the age of the Me Too movement, and idiots that do this thing are dropping left and right because women are coming forth and saying, "Hey, this happened way back when, and you know what? It's just lightning striking the rod." And I don't think Kavanaugh is going to get the votes. I think, and this isn't coming from, my bias against Trump or anything like that. It comes from a place of wanting justice to be done. I'm not angry about it. I'm shocked. I feel slightly, disheartened. I will feel slightly disheartened if Kavanaugh ends up being elected to the seat. But at the same time, it's not really going to affect me much. I mean, I'm just still going to move on with my day and go on through that. But it's going to hurt as an American. Because I see the Supreme Court as the ultimate balance of justice. It doesn't matter the political party of the judges. What matters is how they vote. That's pretty much it. Because at this point, anyone's better than Trump. Will I be voting Democrat? Of course I will. I'm a Democrat. Will I be bummed if a Republican gets in office? Of course I will. Because you want to know what? I'm Democrat. I'm voting Democrat. I'm hoping Democrat. Democrat through and through. But at this stage, almost everyone is better than Trump. So, you know what? Vote in the midterm elections, vote in the main elections. Because more now than ever, we can't let this be the last election.